Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in once again to It's Happening Africa. This, the final game of the 4th edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament. An all-Cape clash here for the gold medal match. The SACS Old Boys locking horns with familiar foes in the RWC Meerkats. The two sides are ready. They're lining up to do their traditional introductions, followed by a double clap from the supporters. The stands are filling up. The beers have already started flowing, and the vibes have been fantastic. The weather really having alleviated itself today to allow us to bring phenomenal coverage, commentary, and statistics. And you know who? It's Happening Africa. And the men, the big guns, the big boys, the head honchos, the men fighting for the bragging rights are ready. We're just about ready to rumble. Our two refs in charge of this game, Mike Beatty and Luvuyo Takalani. The bronze medal match was a stormer between the OJ Eagles, rather, not the Gauteng Under-19s, the OJ Eagles up against Marties, and the OJ Eagles laying claim to the dirty gold medal. It was a replay of one of the pool stage clashes, and it was the same result that happened earlier on in that, and the ladies had a tightly contested final there too that we just got to witness. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a barn burner. These two teams have played against each other numerous times throughout the last few seasons. Familiar foes, lots of player coaches lined up, lots of international representation present on the podium on the far side of the pool. Both sides going to be looking at some of their talismanic players to get themselves ahead in this game. The SACS Old Boys going to be looking at their captain, Devon Card, a prolific centre-forward presence. And of course, their shot stopper too, Loazi Mari, always has a massive influence on the game. And here, we're going to go with the player introductions. Chad Roman. Cole Edworthy, Ross van Skur, Jason Fisher, Maya Malherba, Farouk Maiman, Jordan Mailer, Ben Ryback, Rourke Fisher, John O'Swanepoel, the skipper, Jack Woodburn, Mark Mansfeldt in the number 15. Now for the SACS Old Boys. And Duncan Woods, of course, the coach of the Meerkats. Loazi Mari, big cheer from the crowd. Dev Card, Cam Sugden, Cameron Lawrenson, Big Red, Adam Turk, Nick Downs, Nick Tinkler, Ben Begara, Nick Fall, Josh Faber, Nick Molyneux, Matt Stopforth, Niall Wheeler, and Jandro Rojo Ruiz. And the introductions are done, and the stage has been set. The handshakes go before the game. And this, the game for all the marbles, the moment we've all been waiting for, from when we first kicked off at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, fighting through the elements. The overcast, miserable and rainy weather we've had so far has finally taken a break for us on this Sunday here in Sandton. And an all-Cape clash here in the Gauteng-based tournament. The 4th edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament happening here at St. David's Maristananda. Of course, statistics, coverage and commentary once again brought to you by It's Happening Africa. It's been a phenomenal weekend of water polo. I believe the biggest tournament we've hosted in South Africa for the top level of polo. or the open division of polo rather, since before COVID. I believe 15 men's sides were on display, and I think it was 14 or 13 ladies' sides. And all the placement games are finished. It's just one left to go. Who is the strongest men's club at men's level and premier level in South African water polo? This is going to be high octane water polo. You're going to see both of these two teams try and piece each other apart. The ball movement going to be everything in this game. Devon Card, the dangerous centre forward for the SACS Old Boys, will more than likely earn himself a drop coming from the RWC Meerkats. But of course, no game is won by an individual. It's about the 14. It's about the team. It's about the 7 in the water working to be better than the other 7 on the opposite side. And the SACS Old Boys in the blue and white striped caps are going to lock horns here with the RWC Meerkats in the white. A couple players to watch. RWC Meerkats, you're going to be looking primarily at the captain himself, Jonathan Swanepoel. He's got an absolute 50 caliber of an arm. Always finds himself on the score sheet, always leading his team from the front on the score sheet, but from centre back position. And of course, 2 prolific goal scorers for the SACS side, Joshua Faber and Devon Card. This is going to be incredible. This is going to be exciting. And I'm so glad to be able to be the man who gets to bring that coverage to you. And Nick Molyneux wins that first swim off. And Niall Wheeler's already found himself in front water on the right-hand side. Faber becomes the distributor. It's a 2-on-1 early here for the SACS Old Boys. Niall Wheeler, 2 big balks, and first blood, SACS Old Boys. It's taken 15 seconds. And Niall Wheeler lengthens his stroke and puts that ball into the back of the net early. Perhaps a little lapse in concentration coming early from the Meerkats. The swim-off was initially won by the Meerkats. Jordan Myler not able to get that flick off to his team, and Molyneux recovers second possession. And the SACS Old Boys, as they've done all weekend long, capitalizing on almost every chance they get. And here's Jordan Mailer. Chad Roman on control. And here's Rourke Fisher. Fisher working hard, lines up the foul and shot. He's earned the ordinary, and he's dropped that into second centre here. Ross van Schoor earns the ordinary there. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Van Schoor plays himself. A lot on that for Roman. He has gathered, and he slipped into centre, but Stopforth uses his long arms to get it out of the way. Mailer recovers the second possession. That ball bullets it at the top right. Lwazi Madi gets a big hand behind it and puts it out for a corner. Big tussle in the centre forward position. Farouk Maiman up against Matthew Stopforth. Swanepoel's earned the ordinary. He's let one fly, and it's wide of the frame. A good switch coming from Roman to cover the advancing Molyneux. And now Swanepoel is going to have his hands full here up against Card. Going for the front mark is Swanepoel. Wheeler on the ball. Here's Stopforth. And a contra earned early there. The perpetrator, Devon Card. I believe the call was a push-off there on Jono Swanepoel. So the Meerkats come up with the ball now. Jack Woodburn, the shot stopper, and the number 13 cap. Myler plays it onto the left-hand side with Fisher. Van Schoor. A contra in the centre there. I believe Farouk Maiman this time, leading with the elbow. And the SACS Old Boys have a 3-on-2 here. Devon Card lengthens his stroke, and Wheeler's turn provider. And Devon Card with a 1-on-1 with Woodburn. And Devon Card comes out on top. And the SACS Old Boys have a 2-goal deficit after 1 minute and 36 seconds of play. Strong start from the SACS Old Boys. A little slow out of the blocks here on the Meerkats. They've had their chances though. SACS men, just as they have been the whole weekend, immeasurably clinical. Two counter-attacks, both implementing the pace of Niall Wheeler. And that's a ball into the centre there. And Fisher in the centre forward position, Jason Fisher this time, gets the ball, gets that front water off of Lawrenson. But that shot not able to beat the Springbok goalkeeper, Loazi Mari. And here's a great pass up the pool to Wheeler. Cam Sugden, big balk from him. Back to Wheeler on the left-hand side. Nick Downs now in centre-forward position. The number 6 cap for the SACS Old Boys. That's a ball into the centre there. And Roman sent to the naughty corner. Power play now for the SACS Old Boys. Faber has let one fly early and Swanepoel denies him. Big blocking arm there in the way. And the Meerkats come again through Woodburn. Roman returns to the water on the left-hand side. Big centre forwards in both sides here. Fisher wants it in the centre. Roman slows it down and gives it out to Mailer on the right-hand side. He's gone for it, but he skied it over the crossbar. And the SACS Old Boys escape with their clean sheet still intact. Wheeler fetches again on the left-hand side. That's not his best pass, but Sugden still come away with the ball, getting that off of Fisher. 3 of the SACS Old Boys here, congested on the right-hand side, but they're fixing their shape quickly, are the SACS Old Boys. Out here to Wheeler with 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Downs trying to swim for front water there. Van Skoor occupies the centre forward, or rather stays in the lane there. And now the Meerkats smother the SACS attack and come away with possession. They are extra here, are the Meerkats. They have got front water with Jordan Mailer on the right-hand side. But the ball movement's a bit too slow there to find the open man. But big whitewater tussle in centre forward here. Jason Fisher up against Faber. That ball's gone into Fisher. All hands from Faber. And Sugden on hand to tidy up. And Loazi Mari distributes up to Niall Wheeler, who just continuously moves all over the pool. Oh, and he's turned Van Skoor inside and out. And he's been excluded. Great work from Niall Wheeler there. Aware of his opponent's body position. Capitalizing. A one-on-one situation and creates the 6-on-5. The SACS Old Boys have 15 seconds here in a 6-on-5. The ball with the left hander now, Sugden. He somehow squeezed that under the arm of Woodburn. And Sugden's on the score sheet, and 3-0 now for the SACS Old Boys. A little useless stat here for you. The second goal was scored by the number 2, Dev Card, and the third scored by the number 3, Cameron Sugden. Not that that means anything. But 3-0 is what matters. And the Meerkats find themselves 3 down in the gold medal match with 4 minutes left to the first. Swanepoel, Fisher. Ball into the centre there. I believe Cole Edworthy has a reversal called on him. I believe the call is a push-off from the referee on the far side, Luvuyo Takalani. I didn't really see what the call was. But here's Nick Fall into Devon Card, and Devon Card's let a back shot fly. And this time Jack Woodburn comes up with the goods to deny. Possession recovered by the Old Boys. And now a contra in the centre. I believe the perpetrator, Devon Card this time. And fetching on the right-hand side is Luke Berger. Rourke Fisher. Berger. Swanepoel. You don't want to give him an easy foul here. Lofted pass into the centre, but Nick Fall up to the task. Looking for Cole Edworthy there was the captain, Swanepoel. But the SACS men up to the task and get that ball away. Big Red, or Cam Lawrenson, if you will, back into the water here at centre back. And here's Nick Fall, the youngster, on the ball. Out to Adam Turk. Still 10 seconds on the clock here. No foul. Lawrenson has let one fly, but it's come off the woodwork. The SACS men reset their shot clock to 20 seconds. Here's Turk. Lawrenson. 10 seconds. Here's Tinkler. Ordinary foul on the right-hand side. Out to Nick Fall. Lawrenson. And a big hand from Chad Roman. Chad Roman's gone for the front water, and he's won an exclusion here. That could be a little shift in momentum. Great work from Roman. Makes himself nice and big there. Comes up high. Attacks the front water and earns the exclusion. The first power play of the game here for the Meerkats. Fisher to Roman. Out to Burger. And here is Meyer Malherbe. Fisher. Burger. Onto the left-hand side here with Ryback. Ryback has that pass snatched out of the air by Begara. Burger almost able to pick the pocket of Begara there. But he's gone over the shoulder, says the ref on the far side, Luvuyo Takalani. And Faber fetches on the right-hand side. Matter of time before we see him on the score sheet. Scored an audacious back shot in the semi-final yesterday against the OJ Eagles. Nicholas Fall. Fall earns the ordinary. They've called for the youngster to shoot. It's taken a deflection and Woodburn responds well. Gets his hand up to the top left-hand corner and blocks that ball from going into the back of the net. Ryback gives that over to Malherbe. Fisher. Ryback. Fisher. Malherbe again. Fisher. One big book and a shot at the cross cage. Comes off the arm of Lawazi Mari. Lands in front of Mansfeld. But no dice there. And the SACS Old Boys come away with the ball again. First chuck up. There's 50 seconds left to play. And the SACS Old Boys able to maintain their clean sheet so far. And here's Turk. And here's Faber now. 10 seconds left to the shot clock. Leans over and he fires. But a big blocking arm coming again from Chad Roman. Flying changes for both sides here. Ross van Schoor re-enters the battlefield. And Malherbe carries up the right-hand side. Here's van Schoor. Malherbe. Van Schoor. 12 left of the chucker. Malherbe has let one fly. And fly it did, well over the crossbar. SACS Old Boys happy to run down the clock here. Maybe Faber's going to go for a buzzer beater from range. It's going to have to be special. He's let it fly, but it's gone right down the center for Woodburn. The first chucker comes to a close with the SACS Old Boys leading the Rondebosch Meerkats 3-0. We'll see you again for the second chucker after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you've got your snacks. I'm sure we're in for a barn burner of a second here. 3-0 reads the scoreline. The SACS Old Boys opening strong. Able to keep the Rondebosch Meerkats off the score sheet so far. Still 3 minutes of stop-start water polo left to play. We're playing in a short course format here this year. The rules for men's level polo having adjusted in recent times, going from long course to short course, trying to create a higher goal-scoring game. Molyneux has won the second ball of the swim-off twice off of Mailer now. Mailer proving to be the faster man, but Molyneux, with his wits about him, is able to recover that ball on both swim-offs so far. And here is Cameron Sugden out to Josh Faber on the left. And here's Stopforth now. Big crash down. And here's Sugden. Niall Wheeler. Contra in the centre there. Not sure what the call was. Maybe a caught inside 2 meters there was Nick Molyneux. Physical conversations going on early here. And on the right-hand side carries Luke Berger for the RWC Meerkats in white. Here, Mehemal Herber back to Berger. Sugden excluded. Believe for preventing the swim of Jono Swanepoel. So a power play now for the Meerkats. Chance for them to get themselves on the scoreboard. They need to fix their man-up shape though. And here's Van Schoor, and he's fired wide of the frame. Rush there, shot coming from 10 seconds. And now Wheeler's got Van Schoor excluded. And Wheeler's pace has been so influential in this game so far. 2 of the 3 goals for the SACS Old Boys have come from his pace. And he'll stop fourth. Faber. Stop fourth. Niall Wheeler. Sugden. Stop fourth onto the post. Faber goes from deep and Woodburn denies. Van Schoor on 2 majors early in this game. It'll be monumental for the SACS Old Boys if they can get him finished or get him on his 3rd quite early into this game. Pivotal player in the Meerkats outfit is Ross Van Schoor. And here is Cameron Sugden. 2 big balks there from him, and he fumbles possession, apologizes immediately to his teammates. Uncharacteristic error coming from him. An unforced error, if you will. And here's Malherbe up to Rourke Fisher. Onto the right-hand side with Berger. And now Swanepoel. Meyer Malherbe. Rourke Fisher works hard on the second centre. Sugden's all hands. Fisher recovers the ball back here. And the buzzer's gone. 30 seconds elapsed before the shot came on the perimeter from Meyer Malherbe. And the SACS Old Boys come away with possession. And Wheeler's already up on the opposite side of the pool and fetches the ball early for the SACS Old Boys. And here's Faber. Cam Lawrenson. Devon Card hasn't seen that pass, but luckily Nicholas Fall has. Lawrenson. Fall. Time and space for Fall here. He's fired at the cross cage. He looks like he's gone for a little finesse finish there. Try to apply a little bit of curve to the ball, but it's gone over the crossbar there. And now Swanepoel fetches on the right-hand side. Back into the fray comes Farouk Maiman, straight down into 2 meters. More than willing to entertain a tussle with Big Red. That ball's gone into Maiman. Not able to get a grab on it first time. He was able to free the arm, but Molyneux aware of the danger. And here's Wheeler again on the opposite side of the pool already. Identifying Swanepoel as the danger man and pulling him away from the Meerkats attack as early as possible. And this time, Fall makes no mistake. And 4-0 reads the scoreboard. Nicholas Fall, the youngster, fires at the cross cage and beats Jack Woodburn. The SACS Old Boys have a very strong foothold early on in this game. The Meerkats going to have to dig deep here. Swanepoel looks like he's occupying the left point position. Perhaps going to apply a bit of brute force here on the left-hand side, earn the ordinary, and perhaps line up the foul and shot. He wants that ball to the left-hand side for Fisher. Rojo Ruiz up to the task to close the angle. Swanepoel retreats out of the 6. Tries to feed into second centre, but Tinkler's set well and gets that ball away from Fisher. And Devon Card storms up the opposite side of the pool. Fetching on the right-hand side is Rojo Ruiz. And Roman makes another interception. And Woodburn is waiting for a fetch up the pool, and he's found Ryback. 4 minutes left of the second at the 4th edition of the Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament. And here's Swanepoel in his favoured shooting position, and Rondebosch on the board. You don't have to ask him twice to shoot. And you can see why. Textbook finish from Jonathan Swanepoel. bounces into the underside of the bar and beats Lwazi Muddy. The Meerkats are on the board, and they're back within 3. Exactly what they needed. Jono Swanepoel in and amongst the top 5 of the top goal scorers in this tournament. Currently stands on 19. The top scorer outside of that is Calvin Kidd and Calvin Cooperis, both on 20. And Faber's let one fly. It's taken a deflection on the way through, and then it's beaten Jack Woodburn in the cage. And as soon as the Meerkats claw one back, so do the SACS Old Boys. Two more goals for Swanepoel will put him on the top of the goal scoring heap. 5 goals to 1 reads the scoreline in the gold medal match here. Meyer Malherbe. Ryback. Big tussle in centre forward position there. Ryback's let one fly. It's come off the woodwork. Swanepoel is aware of the speed of Niall Wheeler and gives 100% of his pace to get that ball before Wheels does. And now Meyer Malherbe. Out to Ryback. Into the centre there. Too much traffic. And that ball snatched away by Molyneux or Devon Card. Not too sure which one, but both were in the way, preventing that ball getting to Jason Fisher in the centre forward position. Niall Wheeler. Cam Sugden returns. And here's Stopforth. Stopforth goes for the clearance drive, and here's Molyneux on the perimeter. Sugden has let one fly and denied again here by Woodburn. I think he may have used his face for that one. Unfazed though is the shot stopper. All in a day's work for the young man in the red cap. And here's Sugden. Out to Wheeler. Sugden afforded a lot of time and space here. Into second centre. Stopforth working hard. Earns the ordinary against his opposite 12. Jono Swanepoel. Wheeler gonna have to try beat the buzzer here. 2, 1, and that's the 30 seconds. SACS Old Boys not able to register a shot there on that attack, and Swanepoel gets us back underway here on the left-hand side. Straight up the other side of the pool to Van Scoot. Roman working for frontside water. The ball's gone into him, and Lwazi Muddy almost able to deny there. Molyneux wants a contra. It's not awarded. And Chad Roman's on the score sheets, and the Meerkats back within 3. Got to play to the whistle in any sport, and that's exactly what Chad Roman did. Making his presence felt early in this game. A couple intercepts already to him on the right-hand side. And now a goal too. And Molyneux looking to turn inside water on him to return the favour. Turk comes up to balance the shape. And Ryback pressurizes. Molyneux earns the ordinary. Big tussle in centre forward here. Lofted ball out here to Sugden. Drops that into centre forward position. That's a great ball for Downs, and Downs has put it in the back of the net. 6 goals to 2 reads the score sheets in favour of the SACS Old Boys. To continue on our useless stats metric, the 6th goal is scored by the number 6. Nicholas Downs. One of the 4 Nicholases in and amongst the SACS Old Boys. Not that that means anything either. And here's Ryback. Lots of white water for the Meerkats. Malherbe, Swanepoel. Swanepoel into second centre. Van Scoot has turned Sugden and won a penalty. And now Jono Swanepoel to join the 2 Culvins at the top of the goal scorers list here. In a 1v1 with Lwazi Muddy. Makes no mistake. The Meerkats are on 3. Swanepoel's on 20. And the Meerkats trail by 3 now. One minute left to the first half here in the gold medal match of the 4th edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament. Nick Downs occupying second centre on the left-hand side. Cam Lawrenson happy to drive through. Here's that ball to the other Cameron, Sugden. Swanepoel almost able to pick his pocket. Sugden's given that to Turk. Turk with the catch and release, and it's in the back of the net. 8-3 reads the scoreboard. The SACS Old Boys are just so clinical. They're well aware that nothing moves faster in the pool than the ball. 7-3 rather reads the score sheet. My apologies. Apparently I can't count. And here's Malherba out to Roman. Swanepoel's turn for inside water against Molyneux. The ball needs to go to the left-hand side. But Wheeler is not going to take the bait to Presser Fisher. And a contra earned. Possession was fumbled, so it would have been the same result either way. And Fisher with a hard foul. Down on 2. And Wheeler feeds that up to Nicholas Fall. Molyneux's up in support. Turk and Roman exchanging wide water in the centre. Nick Downs on the second. And here's Fall. Fall's put it past Woodburn. And Nicholas Falls on a brace. Now the score sheet reads 8-3. 15 seconds left of the first half here. And a very strong half coming in from the SACS Old Boys. Meerkats perhaps a bit shell-shocked here. But the precision and the composure of the SACS Old Boys so far have kept them out in front here. Swanepoel occupying left points, and that's the first half, ladies and gentlemen. The SACS Old Boys in the blue lead the Rondebosch Meerkats 8-3 with a strong first half for the SACS Old Boys. Stay tuned for the second half. We'll be with you again after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the gold medal match here. The SACS Old Boys locking horns with the Rondebosch Meerkats. The SACS Old Boys currently 5 goals to the good here against the Rondebosch Meerkats. An all-Cape final, slugging it out for the number 1 and number 2 positions in this year's tournament. I'm joined in the commentary booth here by the ItsHappening.MD, Mr. Steve Tudhope himself, who's also been on the whistle this weekend. He's been weathering the elements, him and his team, and it brought us incredible coverage throughout the weekend. Steve-o, how's this weekend been for you? How's this final playing out? Talk to me. Talk to the people. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, going to interrupt you. Sugden's, not Sugden, the other Cameron. Cameron Lawrenson has ripped one into the top right-hand corner. And again, the SACS Old Boys are on the score sheet. And that was an absolute perler.
Yeah, Blano, it's been a great weekend. Unfortunately, the weather hasn't played ball with us, but the Polo has been hot enough to keep us going, keep us coming back. It's lovely to see stands full here at St. David's Mariston, and you see Cole Edworthy drawing an exclusion there, holding position really well, and Lawrenson will go to the corner for 20 seconds. And it's been really great to see so many teams travelling up to Gauteng. We've got 10 sides from Cape Town here, which is incredible. A couple of Eastern Cape sides, aside from Durban as well, and then obviously the Maltese coming all the way. So to add that exposure, particularly for us here in Gauteng, where we don't get to play against so many top-level sides, it's been really incredible. And I think the Polo's lived up to it. We also went to a new format this year with the strength-on-strength splits with the A Division and B Division, and that's worked really nicely, and we've seen great quality games all the way through the weekend. So I think a big tick for senior water polo in this country, and we're seeing the boys in the water here going toe-to-toe in the final. SACS up comfortably at the moment, but don't write this Rondebosch side off with the likes of Jonathan Swanepoel, Farouk Mayman and Chad Roman, amongst others in the water. They can turn this on in 3 or 4 minutes of good polo and we'll be right back in it.
Absolutely. One of the big strengths of the Rondebosch Meerkats is their ability to work together as a cohesive unit, and that's we've got to take our hats off there to Duncan Woods and what he's managed to achieve with his side. And everything else he's doing with SA Water Polo, leading through Elevate Polo as well. We saw the under-16s coming to represent at men's level, the Gauteng under-19s too. So the youngsters, oh my goodness, Niall Wheeler. The SACS Old Boys just too clinical in this gold medal match. Almost every shot they're taking is registering a point on the scoreboard. And Niall Wheeler gets himself his second of the game.
Plano, as they say, the wheels keep turning. And certainly the scoreboard is ticking along nicely here for the SACS Old Boys.
The wheels do keep turning. And the wheels, with Niall Wheeler, just keep swimming. He's just so fast. And timing beats speed. But like we've said throughout this weekend, when you've got both, you're almost unstoppable. A lot of the SACS Old Boys setup comes around him getting up the pool early. And now Swanepoel drops into second centre. Van Schuur has earned the ordinary against Tinkler. Farouk Mayman into centre-back position here. Ryback into Mansveld. He's fumbled that ball twice there, and Bagara has come up with the goods, but Ryback recovers and lets one fly, but it's gone wide of Lawazimadi's cage. And the 7-goal deficit remains intact. We've seen some deficits like this throughout the weekend. One example was the opening game between the OJ Eagles and the Marties men, where the OJ Eagles were up 9-2. That goal ended with an 11-9 split, though. So these deficits are definitely able to be drawn back. And, of course, these gold medal matches, these high-level placement matches, have an 8-minute stop-start format as opposed to the 6-minute stop-starts that we had in the pool stages. And now Swanepoel earns the ordinary, plays onto the right-hand side with Roman. Roman's let one fly, and it's come off the woodwork. Second possession there, recovered by Mansveld. But that ball's been drawn underwater, and the contra is earned, or rewarded rather. And the SACS Old Boys come away with possession again. Wheeler. SACS Old Boys so composed. They don't need to play high tempo or rushed polo. They set up quickly, and they let the ball do the rest of the work. And here's Sugden. Sugden's let one fly, but a blocking arm got in the way on the way through. I believe it was Maiman whose hand got in the way there. And that goes out of bounds, and Woodburn's going to get us back underway. Feeding that ball to Ryback on the right-hand side.
Counter coming down the left here with Van Schuur. One more pass needed from Jono Swanepoel there to Ross Van Schuur, who was wide open on the left-hand side. As we see a bit of a tussle in the transition there between Nick Tinkler and Jono Swanepoel. And here comes Wills on the counter.
3-on-2 here for the SACS Old Boys. Ball movement here going to be so important. They've given it to Wheeler and they've opened up the left-hander on the right-hand side. And the ItsHappening.MD's brother-in-law puts that into the back of the net. And Sugden's on a brace. 11 goals to 3 here. Very one-sided final so far. And Woods has called a timeout for his charges. He wants a little chat here halfway through the third. He's going to need to reignite the flame within his men. They need something special. They need to dig deep. They need to find a way to get past the SACS defense, because the SACS men have just been far too clinical.
Yeah, Blaine, I think it comes down to experience. Even the UCT and the Marties sides, the students, you just can't buy the kind of experience that the SACS team brings to the table. Most of the guys have played for the national side, certainly at least at a student's level, if not the full national side. And they've been playing together 10 years now as this core group, and they know each other so well. They control the tempo of their game well. You can see they're not pushing tempo at all, and they're just creating the opportunities, taking their time, making good decisions, and that's really been the difference between the two now. We are going to have to see the Meerkats pushing the tempo a little bit. We're getting started here, but there are 8 players in the pool for Rondebosch, so we're just going to have to get one player out and then we can get underway again.
Luke Burger is going to be the sacrificial lamb here. Going to jump out of the water. But yeah, I agree with you. It's the experience. There's so many players in the SACS side. I mean, you look at just Devon Card and you look at Nicholas Molyneux, the wealth of experience that comes from those two. Devon Card having played water polo internationally at club level as well, playing for European clubs. And Nick Molyneux was in and amongst that SA setup for years on end. And then, of course, you've got the next generation of SA players as well in the pool. I mean, Lwazi Madi captained South Africa to the 2022 Olympics. Josh Faber plays for South Africa. He also went to the Olympics, I believe. So did Cameron Lawrenson. In and amongst the other players who've also been here and there. And my apologies if I've left one or two names out of there, but such a wealth of experience, exactly as you said. And they just let the ball do all the work for them. And now the Meerkats are going to have to come up with some goods here. And here's Van Skoor on the left-hand side, dropping into Fisher on the second centre. And he's got the young man, Nick Fall, sent to the naughty corner for a power play. Van Skoor.
It's make or break time now for the Meerkats. If they don't score here, I think that's safe to say that game over, and SACS will just control the possession throughout the remaining check and a half.
Van Skoor to Fisher, fumbles the ball. Fired that to the cross cage. Comfortable save for Lwazi Madi. Flicks it out of the danger area to Devon Card. And the ball movements again from the SACS men at any level of pressure. So easy for them to handle. And a timeout called there by the captain, Devon Card. I'm not sure if there was an exclusion there. Did you see anything? What happened there, Mr. Stevo?
I think Farouk Maimon holding back on the transition as Nick Molyneux turned to go off on the second wave of counter and got excluded for that. Been a little bit of banter between the two players.
Yeah, the transition's so important. So many different steps in polo. It's weird how your attack, it's not weird, it's quite obvious, but your attack starts during your defense in this game. You've got 30 seconds to attack, and your attack starts in the dying moments of your defense, because you can send somebody early, which adjusts the attack that's coming back at you, and the way you defend. And then now you've got drawn somebody else up the other side of the pool, and the shapes all of a sudden changed. And then now someone's got to fetch the ball. Then now you've got to set. Then you've got an action play for a drive or a ball movement, and then the shot still comes after that. So many different phases of play that come through as that ball moves around through that 30 seconds that is allocated for your team to have a rip at goal. And here's Devon Card on the perimeter. Sugden on the hand to Molyneux and fired at the cross cage, perhaps a bit too gently from Molyneux, or complacently rather, and Mela on the back post there puts in a big block, and Maimon returns to the water and carries up the right hand side. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left of the third chukka, and happy to give Maimon time and space on the ball here as Faber. The low percentage angle for the right-hander on the right-hand side.
Watch Wheeler here setting himself up for the counter as you were talking about those phases of attack. And there he goes, just positioning himself in that channel as the shot comes to turn and go, and he's away. Got a 2-on-1 playing out as Wheeler and Devon Card come down the middle.
And the quality of passing from Lwazi Muddy on those transitions is just too high. He makes those passes look so effortless. They always land where they need it to go. And that ball landing on the hand of Niall Wheeler mid-stroke. And he makes no mistake. And it's a 12-goal-to-3 separation between the best and the second best so far at this water polo tournament. Real masterclass coming in here from the SACS Old Boys. But familiar foes, these two. I'm sure they've played each other multiple times where the result has gone either way.
That's absolutely right, Blaine. They do come against each other a lot in the Cape Town League. This is a little bit of a surprise to see such a big gap between the two sides. The Rondebosch boys just haven't rocked up today. They are, of course, missing Etienne Leroux, who was running 2 Oceans this weekend, and that's a big name not to have in the side. That being said, SACS also not quite at full strength. Jared Wingate Pierce not travelling with the team this year. Wish Jerry well down in Cape Town. I'm sure he's watching.
Shout out Jared. But yeah, a little fumble of possession there from Cole Edworthy. The tail of the tape for the Meerkats all game long. And Lawrenson's fight at the cross cage and found the woodwork. Lawrenson, of course, one of the many player coaches at this tournament, simultaneously participating in the men's section while coaching in the ladies. I believe Devon Card is also in amongst that setup, as well as John Swanepoel and Lwazi Muddy with the Elevate under 16s. And here's Rourke Fisher on the right-hand side. Jason Fisher wrestling up against Joshua Faber in the centre forward position. Here's Van Skoot. Dev Card looking like he's ready to line up a counter. Ryback's let one fly. I think that's come off the head of Sugden. Unintentional block, but it doesn't matter. Do anything you can to get in the way here. Big hard transition up the centre of the pool. And a contra foul there called by the ref on the far side. Mike Beatty was the perpetrator there. I believe it was Devon Card.
Yeah, big push off the ball. Referee Mike Beatty just waiting for the ball to come up onto attack, give the defender an opportunity to get back into space, but the push was just too far, too much advantage gained. And now Rondebosch making a sub, but throwing the ball away at the same time, allowing for a 2-on-1 to play out here. Sugden to Card, but it's really good work from Mark Mansveld, hustling back hard in defence and getting back to give the foul away.
Yeah, I think that ball needed to go half a second earlier onto the hand of Card there from Sugden. Just get that ball, nice high ball onto the hand of Devon Card. He's got strong legs and a great finisher. And Suggies has tried to wrap that under the arm of 3 blockers, but Jack Woodburn has come up with the goods to deny. And with 30 seconds left of the third chucker, the SACS Old Boys separate themselves from the Rondebosch Meerkats by 9 goals. And that ball there into Jason Fisher in the centre forward position. Has it snatched away from him by Adam Turco. I believe he used to apply his trade here in Gauteng, playing with the Crusaders. Recently having relocated down to the Cape and joined the SACS Old Boys.
He's part of the Sleeves team down at SA Masters, as we see Nick Molly with a touch of class there. Just popping it over Woodburn in the goals.
Yeah, it makes it look too easy, does Molyneux. A wealth of experience with him.
Yeah, just coming back, Adam Turk, part of the Sleeves side, playing in the 40-plus division at SA Masters Champs. They beat the Marty's Old Boys in the final, so his second final in a couple of weeks, and it looks like he's going to come up on... Oh! Josh Faber with the block and pushing it in the far post.
Yeah, Swanepoel let one fly from range there, looking for a buzzer beater. Faber was aware of the danger coming with Swanepoel's arm, gets a hand in the way of it, catches a deflection and skims off into the bottom corner. Lwazi Muddy was 2 hands over to the near side, and that finds its way into the back of the net. Strictly academic though, maybe a consolation prize as the scoreline reads 13-4, a 9-goal deficit still intact here for the SACS Old Boys. We need more than a goal a minute unanswered for the Meerkats to draw themselves back into this gold medal match.
Yeah, so as we look towards the fourth chukker, a couple of players in foul danger here. Cameron Sugden and Cameron Lawrenson on the SACS side, both with 2 majors themselves. And the number 4 for the Meerkats,
Ross van Schoor.
Ross van Schoor, went blank there for a second, thank you Blano, also on 2 majors himself. Well, they'll have to watch their actions going in, but yeah, with a 9-goal deficit, I'm not sure it's going to make a huge difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, look, it's easy to follow along. Remember names if you have got the GWP app, and you know it's brought to you, Steve. Do you know this app? It's the GWP app. You heard of it?
I do know it, Blaine.
You're familiar with your product, huh? But yeah, of course, statistics, coverage, and commentary all weekend long has been brought to you by It's Happening Africa. Thank you for bearing with us as we braved the elements this weekend. Very difficult to work with electrical products in very, very wet weather. If it wasn't raining, it was just mist everywhere. Believe you bid a farewell to one of your cameras as well. Not the greatest goodbye, but it was your personal camera too, hey? Not that anybody at home needs to know that, but we're all smiles here. And we're underway for the final chapter, the final chukka of the gold medal match in the men's section. For all your money, you'll think the SACS Old Boys will be crowned champions. But it is water polo. Anything can happen. And fortune will favour the brave. And now there's an exclusion here. Rourke Fisher not dropping off of Nick Tinkler after he earned the foul in the power play for the SACS Old Boys.
Yeah, Blano, so, statistically speaking, Meerkats will have probably 12 possessions in this chukka. Right, so that means they need to score from 75% of their possessions and defend every single one of them. So it's a really big ask, but mathematically it's not impossible.
Just unlikely. And I mean, Swanepoel and Niall Wheeler find themselves on hat-tricks in this game, which crowns Swanepoel, I believe, as the top goal scorer for the tournament. He came into this game with 18. He's got himself 3, so he's on 21. Oh my goodness, make that 22. And if you could include style points, I'll make it 24, because that was an absolute perler. Swanepoel with a catch and release, a textbook finish, finds the underside of the bar, and the back of the net bulges beautifully with that bullet from the big gun. Jono Swanepoel, 22 goals in 4 days. Massive class shown from him. Happy to lead the Meerkats from centre-back position and in the front of the score sheet. Some feet that from him. And here's the youngster, Janjo Rojo Ruiz. Plays himself. Roman drops off. Downs working hard against Mansveld. That ball's found its way in, but Swanepoel, with his wits about him, crashes rapidly and snatches that ball away. The Meerkats down by 8. 6 minutes and 42 left of the fourth. And a goal here could swing momentum in their favour. That ball's gone to the left-hand side with Ryback. Ryback's put it in the back of the net. Beautiful cross-cage bounce shot there into the top right-hand corner. And this fourth chukka looking to be exactly what the Meerkats needed.
Yeah, we said it. We need a 75% scoring rate and 100% defense rate. And so we're currently sitting on 100% defense and 100% offense. So, we said stranger things can happen. It's not over till the old lady sings. The fat lady sings.
Well, I won't be singing today, but we still keep going here. The SACS Old Boys will want to break the momentum as quick as they can here. Jono Swanepoel hasn't called for a drop here. He's wrestling up against Devon Card. No easy feat. A lot of white water, a lot of rolling in the centre forward position, and Swanepoel's won another contra in the centre. And Fisher emerges with the ball, plays it up the left-hand side. Mansveld has scooped that ball away from Stopforth. Stopforth with a hard foul. On the left-hand side is Ryback. Not a good enough pass there. And Wheeler able to pinch that out of the air and keep that ball out of the back of the net. That pretty much sums up Meerkats' afternoon so far. Well, maybe the first 3 chukkas rather. This fourth one looking good. But an unforced error there coming from Mansveld. And Wheeler, so influential in the SACS side. And here's Sugden. Perhaps going to line up a foul on shot here as the lefty. That's a contra. It was a great shot. He's saying he played himself. I didn't see it. For those wondering what that rule is, if you think it's a rugby, after a penalty, you'll often see the scrum half give a tap and go on his foot. The ball leaves his hand, touches his foot and comes back into his hand. The ball is then live in rugby. For Polo, the ball has to leave the hand and re-land on the hand for it to be live. And Sugden there, giving a balk off the foul. And that's a great work in centre forward position there.
Big save by Lwazi Madi, though. Big left hand that was looking at a top corner shot. Really good legs from the keeper.
Yeah, Fisher doing very well to free up his arm there. It's a great shot. Nothing wrong from the centre forward. But what a goalkeeping presence Lwazi Madi is. Perhaps Jono Swanepoel looking for his fifth here. Going to try and do it himself, is he? No, he's going to drop it into the centre. And they've won the exclusion here. Mansveld has gotten Faber excluded. That's his first major of the game. Faber saying he's holding the ball. It doesn't matter if you play the neck or the head. And now a power play. Roman on the right-hand side, out to Ryback. Fisher is going to want this ball in the hand here. It's not come yet. Ryback has found Fisher. Fisher has been denied again by Lwazi Madi from no range at all. Great save again from Lwazi Madi. 7-goal deficit here with 4 minutes and 40 left. Still mathematically possible. Increasingly less likely as we go. And here's a change for Rick Maiman in the water now. Rojo Rus, happy to slow it down here. Lawrenson, back to Rus. Rojo Rus is denied. Believe a big blocking arm there from the captain, Swanepoel. Up to the left-hand side here with Roman. SACS Old Boys looking very fit here. That's a lofted effort there from Fisher. It's fortunately landed with Maiman. Maiman's denied from no range. Lwazi Madi, with a monumental fourth chukker, has made 3 saves from one-on-one almost positions from 2 meters out. There's a reason he's the Springbok shot stopper. And here's Wheeler, happy to let the clock run down. They're going to want to use their full 30. They're into the single digits of the shot clock here. And out here to Sugden. Roman tries to pick his pocket. Sugden lofted ball here onto the hand of Bigara, but the clock's run. And Maiman trying to get to the ball here. Bigara not able to move out of the way there. Maiman hoping for something. But no call comes. And here's Ryback on the right-hand side. Ball into Fansveld. And I believe Lwazi Madi, having established himself here in the cage, an absolute wall so far, making another save from 3 meters out.
Yeah, Lwazi's having an absolutely exceptional fourth chukker here. And we spoke about that 75% conversion rate. Well, Lwazi's been the difference there.
And here we've got an exclusion earned by the danger man, Devon Card. And immediately a timeout is called. 2 minutes and 52 seconds left on the clock. The SACS Old Boys wanting to slow this down, make this attempt count, but for all your money, they are the gold medalists. They will be the champions for the 2025 Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament. An absolute masterclass here from them, each and every player pulling their weight. A little recap of the score sheet. Dev Card finds himself on 1, Sugden on 2, Lawrenson on 1, Adam Turk on 1, Nick Downs on 1, Nick Fall on 2, Faber on 1, Molyneux on 1, and a hat-trick hero, Niall Wheeler. Very well distributed scoreboard there for the SACS Old Boys. 6 goals for the RWC Meerkats, 1 for Roman, 4 for Jono Swanepoel, and 1 for Ben Ryback. But Lwazi Madi having an absolute scorcher of a 4th and final chukker. Making 4 or 5 saves from 2 meters out. If those had gone in, you'd be looking at an 11-13 scoreline, which is game on. Here's to Sugden. Bigara wants it on the hand. He's gone catch and release, and that's in the back of the net. And that'll be everything. That'll be the result. That'll set everything in stone. The SACS Old Boys sailing to a comfortable victory here. The scoreboard keeps ticking, and it keeps ticking up, and the clock keeps ticking down. A deflated Meerkats resume play here. 2 minutes and 40 left on the clock. Swanepoel, this year's tournament's top goal scorer, came into this game on 18. Scores 4, he's on 22. That one he's let fly at the left-hand side, gone wide of the frame. Would have been strictly a consolation prize though. And Lawrenson fetches on the right-hand side. Turk fetches on the left. Happy to slow it down here are the SACS Old Boys. Perhaps looking to the foul and shot here as Turk. Out to Lawrenson. Onto the right-hand side there for Tinkler. Molyneux receives that ball on the hand. Fires at the near post, but Woodburn's made a great read and got 2 hands across. Timeout called here by the coach, Duncan Woods. Couple cavalry changes. Give some of the players who haven't played too much some more game time. Luke Berger and Meyer Malherbe look to be the 2 changes coming in for the Meerkats. And Shadow Rirhansu Hashatsi will be coming in to replace Woodburn as the shot stopper for the dying moments of this game. An understandably deflated Meerkats. We're ready for this final. But it appears the SACS Old Boys were a bit more ready. And they've put on an absolute masterclass of a finishing display of the SACS Old Boys. Almost everything they touched turned to gold. And Malherbe gets that onto the left-hand side with Van Scoor. Here's Malherbe. Van Scoor's turn for inside water. Lofted pass onto the left-hand side with Fisher. Fisher's found Berger, and Berger's gone for the cross cage again. Lwazi Mari on hand to deny. And Stopforth. Cobra grips that ball to safety. Takes it away from the cage. And Molyneux going to gently stroke this ball up across the halfway line here with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. That ball's dropped to the right-hand side with Tinkler. A short side drive coming from Turk. Begara moves into the left-hand side. Perhaps going to look for a foul and shot here as Begara drops into Lawrenson. Finds himself in centre-forward position, which is normally at centre-back. And Tinkler went for a little back shot there. No response needed from Shadow in the cage. And that's a long ball up the other side of the pool to Van Scoor. Big slapping arm there. Earns himself the ordinary.
I'm surprised not to see a sanction there, but definitely something happening under the water between Van Scoor and Molyneux there.
Here's Fisher. Lets one fly, and Lwazi Mari again.
Two hands to that, and he's been huge in goals this last checker. We can't sing his praises enough, but yeah, all credit to the SACS Old Boys here. They really have controlled every facet of this final here at the Gauteng Invitational 2025, and they will walk away deserved winners.
Absolutely. They've been so prolific this weekend. The only side left unbeaten, the SACS Old Boys, and that pass from Tinkler not good enough. It's going to be a quick ball up here to the 2-on-1. It's going to be academic or a consolation prize. Here's Fisher. 1-on-1 with Lwazi Mari. Big hands from Mari, but composure from Fisher, and he gets himself a goal in the gold medal match. Strictly a consolation though. 14 goals to 7 with 17 seconds left at the 4th edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament hosted here at St. David's, Maristenanda. Statistics, coverage and commentary brought to you by ItsHappening.Africa. And Lwazi Mari is going to come up and join the attack with a big smile on his face. Perhaps to see if he can find himself on the score sheet.
Looks like they're sending Lwazi up to play centre forward. A little 7-on-6 action here for the Old Boys. Can they make something happen?
Oh, Lwazi Mari is almost on the scoreboard. That was a great pass to him there. Swanepoel has got 5. That's a great ball onto the hand for Lwazi Mari. He's almost able to get that shot off. Malherbe had the front mark, but the quality of the pass was incredible. And Shadow shares a smile with his opposing number 1 as that ball flies wide of the cage. And they're going to give this to Lwazi Mari again, I think, to have a rip from range. Lwazi Mari has gone for a lob, but he's been beaten by the buzzer, and that's all she wrote, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the SACS Old Boys, the 2025 champions for the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament. Statistics, coverage, and commentary has been brought to you happily all weekend by ItsHappening.Africa. Thank you so much for following along with us and for tuning in all weekend. A massive congratulations to the SACS Old Boys on their gold and their championship. It's been an incredible weekend of water polo, and once again, we thank the supporters tuning in from wherever they're watching from and all those who came through to support in person. It's been amazing. It's been a privilege and it's been a pleasure. Until next time, Blaine Spitzold dialing out on the mic, joined by the ItsHappening.MD, Steve Tudhope. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you again soon. Peace, love, and positivity. Goodbye.
All the teams, players, officials, and managers, I'd like to thank you for coming to the club.